from speaking26.com, where I show pharmacists how to get their 26 on TOEFL Speaking by showing how I got 30 on TOEFL Speaking. And today I'm here with Lisa, and we are attacking question number 3. We are going to explain. Lisa, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa. I'm from Philippines, and I migrated to the States to pursue my dream to be a pharmacist. And here I am to learn with Aaron, my tutor, and he's going to help me boost my self-esteem and boost my score to 26. And now, here we are. We're going to attack question number 3.
Let's do it. Let's get that 26 on TOEFL Speaking. Okay, so if you can get a timer ready, give me 15 seconds to prepare and then 60 seconds for this question number 3. I will think out loud for 2 reasons. Pharmacists, when we're in that testing center, we want to use that preparation time to think out loud, even if it's quietly, to block out distractions. And even if I was alone in the testing center, I would be thinking aloud during those 30 seconds to warm up my voice. Okay, Lisa.
Yes, 30 seconds. Begin now.
Emotional intelligence. Explain emotional intelligence and how it applies to the examples from the lecture. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize our true feelings and to understand what's causing them. This enables better control of our emotions. We can change or correct our behavior when it's necessary. The professor talks about his daughter and his daughter arguing with her friend. The professor talks about his daughter and her arguing with her friend. Okay, is my time up?
Time.
60 seconds?
Okay, 60 seconds, begin now.
Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize our true feelings and to understand what's causing them. This allows us to have better control of our emotional responses and to change them when necessary. In the example from the professor, he talks about his daughter and his daughter arguing with her friend. When the daughter was arguing, she suddenly stopped and she recognized that she wasn't really mad at her friend. Instead, she understood because her emotional intelligence was high enough for her to have this ability. Once she understood that it really wasn't her friend that she was mad at, instead it was her new job, the daughter used her emotional intelligence to change her behavior. And she did this by apologizing to her friend. Emotional intelligence allows people, like the professor's daughter, to maintain better relationships with people. When the daughter apologized, her friend accepted the apology and encouraged her. So it's because of the daughter's emotional intelligence that she was better able to behave.
Oh, wow.
Good. Lisa, what's one thing from my answer that will help your answer to this question number 3?
You nailed it. Well, I think because first is you describe. Sorry, you give definition of what emotional intelligence is, and then you applied the meaning of this this word to the example of the professor, and you provided the and you supported the examples of from the professor's daughter's experience, something like that. So good. Yeah,
I apply the meaning of the definition to the example.
Yes.
All right. Yes. To our fellow pharmacist friends who must have 26 on TOEFL Speaking. Lisa correctly just said that I apply the meaning of the definition to the examples from the audio, from the professor's lecture. I did not just summarize or paraphrase. I applied the meaning to the examples. I integrated the same way this is an integrated speaking question. Okay. Good. Okay. All right, Lisa, you have 30 seconds to prepare. You may begin preparing now.
Emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize our true feelings and understand the cause of them. It enables us to better understand or control our own emotion, or even to correct our own behaviors. For example, the daughter's professor's friend came over and they have argued with what movies to watch. The daughter is a bit upset of the friend, and but the emotional intelligence kicked in, so the daughter were able to recognize that feelings, that she's not really upset of her friend, but instead she's
Time.
Upset.
You now have 60 seconds to speak. You may begin speaking now.
According to the passage, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize our true feelings and understand the cause of them. The professor provided example of her daughter's friend that came over to watch a movie, and they were arguing and they're both upset. The daughter stopped and realized that it's not really her friend's fault, or she's not really upset of her friend, but the emotional intelligence of this situation kicked in because the daughter have recognized and stopped that she's not upset to her friend, but instead she's upset because she got a job and she's not prepared for it. So the control of this emotion, she was able to correct this behavior by apologizing to her friend, and since her friend accepted her apology, and now they watch the movie and they are happy for the rest of the evening. So this emotional intelligence were able to
Time. You can finish your thought if you want
okay,
to.
so the emotional intelligence for the daughter was able to recognize her true feelings and her emotions.
Very good. Excellent speaking rate. My favorite sentence that you said was, quote, able to correct her behavior by apologizing to her friend, integrating the reading passage with the example. Able to correct her behavior, that's from the reading passage, by
Yes.
apologizing to her friend. That's from the professor's lecture, and you integrated it well in one sentence that explained emotional intelligence. Very good. Lisa, all right. How do you feel about your answer? What do you want to continue to do well on, or what do you want to improve on?
Yes, I want to improve my sentence construction. I kind of understood now the integrated part of speaking and how to collaborate them, how to merge them. But because because of the stress emotions, and so I just want to I want to attack that. I want to just beat the stress feeling so that my fluency in English is just gonna come out so natural. But because it's so hard when we are in the live stream, or we are in a real exam, there's so many distractions, so it's so hard to incorporate what I have to say, plus the 45 seconds to read the reading part, when we know that what is the definition, but what is really is the correct answer that we have to speak. So that's what I want to get used to, so that when the real test is going to next time or pretty soon, so I'll be more comfortable, so I'll be more just fast enough to think and attack this question without
Okay.
any kind of hesitation.
Okay, great. I heard you say
Yeah.
that you are understanding how to better integrate. You said
Yes.
merge the reading passage with the lecture so that we can explain in a stronger
Mm-hmm.
way and not just
Mm-hmm.
summarize or paraphrase. And you want to practice that more so that you deal with the pressure of the real test and
Yes.
of limited time to prepare and speak. Good.
Correct.
So that your speaking answers come out more naturally, more fluently.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, we're going to continue to practice that. Just now that you know how to do it better, the more you do it, the more we do it, especially here on the live streams, that's going to continue to get smoother and more fluent.
Okay.
Okay, good. And I also heard you say sentence structure. So for TOEFL speaking, we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
language use. Yes,
Correct.
when you and I go back after the live, in fact, we're going to do that soon here. When you and I go back at the end of the live stream to listen, play, pause
Mm-hmm.
your recorded answer, I will
Mm-hmm.
help you with those sentences
Okay.
because I heard you give a much improved explanation. But you're
Okay.
right, we do want to improve the language use, the grammar, the
Yes.
sentence structure,
Yes.
like you said.
Yes.
All right, very good. Any last comments or questions before we move away from this part? And on to the debate.
My favorite part.
Yes, okay. All right, here we go. So no time to prepare. You just tell me if you want me to go first or you to go first after I give you the topic.
You go first.
Okay,
So I have time to
okay,
prepare.
you got it. Okay, so here is our topic. Cell phones. Should we have them with us all the time, everywhere we go? Which side of the debate would you like? Yes, you agree with that we should have our cell phones with us all the time, everywhere we go? Or do you disagree with that? I'll take the opposite side.
I'll take agree. Yes.
You agree. Okay, that means I am saying that I do not agree we should take them everywhere we go and have them with us all the time. Let me write that down. All the time and everywhere. Those are the key words, the key phrases that I took from this question number 1 topic. Okay. All right. And a reminder to everybody benefiting from this study session, Lisa and I do not necessarily feel one way or the other. We are simply doing this for speaking practices. Here we go. Lisa, I disagree with you. I do not think that we should take our cell phones with us all the time, everywhere we go. Most of the time, yes, I'm using that for my family, friends, and for work. But all of the time, 100% of the time, no, I disagree with that. I remember being a kid and I was pretty happy and survived without having my cell phone at all, let alone all the time. Now, as an adult, since I'm on my phone so much, both for work and for play, to stay in touch with my friends and family, to watch videos, since I'm on it so much of the time, it's important that I take a little break. So I agree that I should have my phone with me most of the time, but not all of the time.
Okay, I get that. I understand because you want to have a break of using the cell phones. But for me, I agree that we should have our cell phones all the time. For example, like you mentioned during your young childhood time that you're playing with your friends, you don't have a cell phone. But nowadays, since the world is so crazy and there's a lot of danger surrounds us, so I would be so, as a parent, I am so comfortable that my children will have a cell phone with them to be able to call 911 for emergency purposes and for be able for them to call for help. And as as an adult, I still like to have my phone all the time, because not just because I don't want to have I'm connected with family, of course is very important, but because my if there's an emergency, as just like when I mentioned with my kids, if there's an emergency, so I can dial 911 or talk to whoever that I can ask for help. That's why I agree that we should have cell phones with us all the time.
Okay. I heard you say that nowadays there is danger and we're living in a crazier world. So you want your kids to always have their cell phone, always, 100% of the time, so that they can use it for emergency purposes. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I have two follow-up questions for you regarding that. Can you give me an example of a situation when your kids would need to have their cell phone with them?
Of course.
For an emergency?
For example, when they go to school and there's an accident happen or something really serious case happen and nobody brought their cell phones, or even a teacher didn't bring their cell phone. So when my kid knows that he got his cell phone, he could offer it to his teacher. If my kid is not comfortable to talk to adult, like calling 911, so he can give it to his teacher and have the teacher call for help. And it's really important because we don't know whatever places are safe, so it's a matter of life and death. So it's really important that kids have something to call, something like a phone to call for help.
Okay. Yes, the safety of your kids, the safety of all kids is important. But when you give an example of your kid going to school and the teacher not having their cell phone, I don't think this is a realistic scenario when your kid needs to have their phone with them all the time. I want your kids to always be safe, of course, but the schools have phones. So even in the unlikely event that an emergency happens on the day that an adult forgets their phone, I never forget my phone. Doesn't the school have phones?
The school have phones, but for example, like shooting in school, there's no access for these personnel in school to go to their lockers, to their break rooms to access their phones. So if of course there's a lockdown in the school, so people cannot go out and in. So this is a perfect scenario. If a child brings their cell phone with them, they can use their phone and without going anywhere and look for their phone because it's already with them.
You win. I like that.
Oh,
You win.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I thought I had you. I said, okay, I hope she's ready for this one. But you said
Thanks.
you win because you said in the very unfortunate event,
Yes.
for example, like we see in the news,
Yes.
if there's a school shooting, people don't have time to go to their lockers. It's not, the kid can't just walk leisurely to the office to go use the school's phone. Excellent example.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Lisa, let's end this live stream and then let's go
Okay.
back and review your recorded speaking answer.
Awesome.
All right. Very good.